We knew that Springer Publishing was an award-winning publisher of health-related textbooks. We knew they had a wide reach into universities, associations, and healthcare institutions. But we ultimately chose Springer Publishing to publish our textbook, Public Health Law Concepts and Case Studies, because our editor, David Diadana, showed sincere enthusiasm for this work. He truly caught the vision for the textbook that we wanted to produce, and he supported our goal of embedding equity as a central theme throughout the textbook. And despite many bumps in the road, he maintained that enthusiasm and support, not just for the textbook, but for me and my career.
Springer provided us with an editor, a person who had extensive knowledge in how you write books, what makes things transition well, the kind of statements that needed to happen. She worked with a team of 7 of us to basically edit, review, and put together this book in a very quick timeline.
The book aims to be a foundational textbook for public health, teaching students how to think in public health rather than telling them what to think, organizing public health around 2 key conceptual frameworks, a social ecological perspective and a life course perspective. And that is unique, and I think the book, as shepherded by Springer and by David, really does that and sets the stage for a lifetime of learning in public health.
Years ago, when I wrote the first edition of my EKG book, I proposed the concept to Springer Publishing because I was familiar with their publications in the allied health realm, and they have a long history of supporting PAs and NPs. Many years later, I am so thankful that they took a chance on me as an author because working with everyone on their team has been a wonderful experience. They have editors like Suzanne Toppy and sales personnel like Lee Montville with years of experience in medical publication, and it really shows in the day-to-day interactions that I have with them.
Now, it's difficult to describe the professional satisfaction and overwhelming sense of emotion that accompanied the first time we saw and held our new book. My immediate response was to cradle it in my arms like a newborn infant. I thought it might even sneak beneath my pillow that night.
During my years of experience in the emergency room, I had a book of notes with my friend who's the co-author, and we called it our Book of Brains. We carried it with us. It was all these micro information, things about patients, scales we needed to use when we were assessing them, doing rapid assessments, comprehensive type assessments. It was all these things at our fingertips, and we loved it. And we thought, why are we just keeping this for ourselves? Let's share it with everyone else. And that's what we ended up doing with this book. And because of Springer, we were able to create exactly what we had envisioned.
The goal we really set out to solve with this book was to prepare therapists and counselors to recognize and respond to addictive behaviors more effectively. We often don't get enough training on behavioral addictions in our counselor training programs. So the aim of this book was to kind of fill that gap and meet that need by providing some foundational knowledge about the conceptualization of behavioral addictions, how to recognize and assess for behavioral addictions, and then diagnostic and treatment considerations. Overall, it was an amazing process to write this book and to hopefully meet this need in the mental health community.
We worked with Springer Publishing to create a book to document the history of nurses that are doing things differently in nursing. We know that this idea was revolutionary in the way that publishing happened, and Springer was awesome to work with to sit there and think, how could we bring a book with 46 authors together in one piece that would have an impact to change the way that nursing literature was absorbed, read, and valued in the world of healthcare and beyond? And that's what we did with the Rebel Nurse Handbook.
I wanted to send a palpable message to the medical community through my book, 101 Primary Care Case Studies. My message was to promote clinical skills, bedside skills, and interprofessional collaboration for the current and future clinicians. Based on my prior knowledge about Springer Publishing, I had an instinct that they are going to be the best publishing company to accomplish my goal. I knew they will believe in my message because they also deeply care about promoting the same message.
When we were first contracted and then ultimately to see this come to fruition, I was overwhelmed with a sense of gratitude. It's difficult to describe, but it was gratitude for our contributing authors, for our reviewers, for Springer Publishing, for our editors, and for all the nurses that I've worked with throughout my 30 plus year career in taking care of children and working in the emergency department.
You know, the first time I scrolled through the final list of contributors in the production copy of my book, I cried, real tears. The diversity of the chapter authors that we were able to pull together is more than I could have dreamed of. People who represent populations that are far too often excluded from the literature. Women, people of color, LGBTQ, tribal members, new practitioners, retirees, all experts in public health and public health law. To see a quality, comprehensive public health law text that centers equity and has such a diverse set of contributors that I am the lead editor of, that will be used to teach the next generation of public health leaders, makes all of the hard work, all of the late nights. It makes all of it worth it.
When I first saw my textbook published, I felt a great deal of pride, and I really thought the cover was well done with the art and professionalism. My book is entitled Research Design for the Behavioral Sciences, an Applied Approach. This textbook pragmatically and philosophically breaks down the most commonly used research approaches in the behavioral sciences.
When we started writing it, there was really nothing recent on the market as far as triage content went. And we filled that need. We ended up actually winning an American Journal of Nursing Award in the Critical Care and Emergency category, as well as an Emergency Nurses Association Media Award.
This publishing process has allowed me to help others enjoy what I have enjoyed. I've mentored over 80 doctors and nurses through their first publishing experience, whether reviewing manuscripts or writing. Lynn, Anna, and I use our royalties to purchase books and then donate them to nurses and organizations everywhere. Since 2015, we've donated over 580 copies of our books to all 50 states and 6 countries. Working with Springer is an honor.
It really has been a privilege to be part of the Springer family on this. Thank you to everybody for having me and our co-authors on this.
I will be forever grateful for the opportunity to work with Springer Publishing, and I'm proud to be a part of a company that values and actively seeks to advance the clinical expertise provided by PAs.
Thank you so much for your help, and it was great working with you, and I hope to work with you in the future.
Thank you so much, Springer Publishing. It's been an absolute honor to work with you, and I so look forward to working with you into the future.
I show my appreciation to Springer Publishing for teaming up with me to enhance the love of humanity.